This is really what confuses me so much about this particular season.
That's
is
why
the
I'm here.
Eastern
I got
Conference.
you. I
know.
got
Thank you so much. Because I'm looking at the Eastern Conference, and there are 4 teams that I think are above the rest of the teams. You could argue Pacers, but I'm not hearing it. So who, in your mind, are the best 4 teams in the Eastern Conference, and in what order do you put them? Because I change this literally every single day.
Oh, well, yeah, you can't change it. This is one of those moments where you just rather just like stick to your guns and wait till May and June to prove yourself wrong. Just like stick with it. So, in order, it's still the Celtics, then it's Philly, then it's Toronto, and then it's Milwaukee. And let me give you the reason why I have this. It's because the Celtics are the best team. The Raptors have 2 stars. Then you have the Bucks have 1 star. They only have 1. Like, you can't have Giannis have a bad night. Like, imagine last year with LeBron. LeBron couldn't have a bad game in the finals at any point. If LeBron only had 24 points off 6 of 14 or 6 of 18 shooting, they weren't going to win. Giannis is in that mold where everything is built around him, and he has to be a monster every single night. Toronto still has 2 stars, I believe, in Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard. Philly has 2 stars, so if Joel Embiid is in foul trouble, next thing you know, Ben Simmons can be dishing the ball, moving around, triple-double, just doing some impressive things. And then obviously the Celtics have multiple high-level players. So that's why I would put the Bucks a little bit lower than those other teams, because they only have 1 main guy, and that's not the recipe for success in the playoffs.
Okay. Well, I disagree with you a little bit here, especially about the Celtics. The Celtics, you talk about these, the Bucks are number 4 on this list because they only have 1 star, and Giannis has to have a great night. Who are the 2 Celtic stars, sir?
Well, that's the thing. They have a lot of B+ players and A- players, right? So if you look at the Bucks, they have 1 A+ player, right?
Yes.
If you go to the Celtics, I'd give me 4 B+ players than 1 A+ player. Give me that any day. And most coaches would take that also. Give me Jalen. Give me Tatum. Give me Kyrie. Gordon Hayward, I believe, at the end of the season will be closer to who he was when he showed up. And, Al Horford. We're not even talking about Rozier. We're talking about Marcus Smart. And I got a lot of flack for this. Who is the 3rd best player on the Toronto Raptors? Who's the 3rd best player? Because I said that Terry Rozier, after the way he played last year, would be the 3rd best player for the Raptors. And people were like, who's the 3rd best player? We're going to say Serge.
I would probably say Serge has been playing really well this season.
But do you believe in
there's
Serge?
Van Vliet and Siakam, and there's players.
But do you believe in Serge? Do you believe that Serge is going to be the multiple difference maker that's going to help them get to the finals? No, like Terry Rozier helped lead that team to the conference finals and to a Game 7 against the Cavs. So I know people, and he hasn't been playing great, because Kyrie, who is an all-world player, it's one of those things that you're just like, they just don't have enough, and they're going to play a great brand of basketball. They basically just got to take out DeMar DeRozan and add Kawhi Leonard in there, who's probably a better defender and a better three-point shooter. So they
probably a better defender.
But
a better defender.
A lot of it is system based. Like, he is a better defender because of his natural ability, but also being in San Antonio, I really believe that DeMar DeRozan will improve his defense because it'll be system based. He'll be demanded more from Coach Pop. So all of a sudden, I think you'll see that gap change a little bit, right? But I just don't see how Toronto with that lineup can get to the finals. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying it's going to be a very difficult ride.
I'm glad you said system-based, because there's something happening with the Bucks. They basically have the exact same roster that they had last year. I mean, they added Lopez, and that's probably the biggest addition that they had. And he makes a difference, but now they have Coach Bud. And what is it about a coaching change that has ignited them to this hot start?
Well, understand too, they're also a year older. Giannis is a year older and a year better, right? That's, people don't understand that from one year to the next. And it's like, look, imagine if Denver would have changed their coach this past season. right? Then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, look, the coaching change helped. It's like, no, all of those young players are a year better, right? So that's kind of similar. I think Coach Bud is a great coach. I think Jason Kidd is a very good coach. So I just think sometimes it's about, okay, we're going to change, we're going to do something different. But ultimately, when you look at Malcolm Brogdon is a year older. When you look at Giannis is a year older. And these guys are still only 24, 25 years old. So that year gap and that year of growth, and then you add a new coach in, that year of growth is huge.